Good evening and welcome to CYC News. Today is the 10th of May 2015 and the 2nd of Bashams 17:31 AM. I'm George McHale.
And I'm Anastasia Attia. In today's headlines, as a new set of parishes known as the American Orthodox Church gets established, His Holiness Pope Tawadros leaving Netherlands travelling to Italy, Muslim extremists terrorize Copts in Egypt, Fox News, Christians convert lawyer tells MCN about intransigence by authorities against his client. ISIS jihadi linked to Garland attack has long history as hacker. And Virginia has Seeking Happiness event to share God's love in streets.
The American Orthodox Church of Alexandria is the name given to a new set of parishes which are currently being established by His Grace Bishop Yusuf, the Diocese of the Southern United States. The aim of these churches is to serve the needs of the American race Copts and other Americans, and to provide an environment where they can worship in a language and culture familiar to them. All prayers, meetings, and services are to be conducted in English, and weekly meetings will be held for non-Orthodox Americans to come and see the beauty of the Orthodox Church. Members will be trained to deal with newcomers of various faiths and denominations. Small servant-led groups will be established for social activities, and priests will be directed in the homes of the members. The church is an Orthodox church under the See of St. Mark, with the Coptic churches currently established worldwide. It won't change the church rites. However, its goal is to remove difficult or unfamiliar elements of the Coptic church and present it to Americans who want a wide road approach to Christianity. The plan is to establish 8 parishes initially by the end of 2015, and the new priests will be ordained to serve in each of these parishes.
To Papacy News, where last Wednesday His Holiness Pope Tawadros II left Netherlands, travelling to Italy accompanied by His Grace Bishop Asani, Bishop of Holland, His Holiness was received by a great number of bishops and priests of Europe. His Holiness held a conference for priests and servants of the Coptic churches of Europe. This conference is going to last for 3 days. Bishops, priests, their wives, and the servants of all ages participate in this conference.
Egypt's Christians are facing a new wave of persecution at the hands of Muslim extremists. According to a report by Fox News, the article quoted human rights groups as saying the situation could be on the brink of exploding. Coptic Christians in Egypt say they are facing renewed isolation. The article said, although not on the scale of persecution felt by Christians in Syria and Iraq under the Islamic State, the article quoted Mina Tabet, a Coptic activist and researcher at the Egyptian Commission for Rights and Freedoms, as saying Copts are often the first victims because they are the weaker element in society. Tabet said Copts become a target for extremists because the community has no support and police protection is often sluggish. Tabet went so far as to predict that the combination of poverty and unemployment provides the sort of social conditions that could trigger the sort of unrest, where Christians become central targets, just as Jews were historically targeted during the pogroms. While not all the people would blame the Copts, he said many ordinary Egyptians have strong thoughts towards the Coptic community.
Still in Egypt, where the lawyer of Bishoy Amir, previously known as Mohammed Hegazi, revealed how the Egyptian state apparatus is intransigent in dealing with Amir's case because he converted from Islam to Christianity. Karim Gabriel, Amir's lawyer, said his client was tortured during his imprisonment and was detained in an execution room. He was accused of unspecified charges. He was threatened with the fabrication of a blasphemy case against him by the prison officer if a Bible was found with him. Amir is the first convert to announce his conversion to Christianity in the media in Egypt in more than 10 years. The prosecution arrested him a year ago when he was found in Minya under pressure by hardline Islamic groups. The lawyer explained that Amir was kept in prison for longer periods than it is prescribed by law, and the hearing will be scheduled for this new issue. Gabriel called on the Prosecutor General to release him. Gabriel added that the Egyptian state is alleging that it secures equally among citizens in international forums, but conversion to Islam is encouraged by all institutions, and all converts to Christianity are prosecuted by security agencies and threatened with death by militant Islamic groups.
The future of the Middle East will depend on cooperation between nations to promote dialogue and development, and on local Christians staying active in society and politics, the National Catholic Reporter quoted a Vatican official. The international community cannot remain inert or indifferent before the dramatic situation unfolding in the Middle East, because it has a special responsibility to guarantee the presence of Christians and other minorities in the region, said Archbishop Paul Gallagher, the Vatican's foreign minister. The Archbishop said the root of the region's problems must be addressed and that countries must recognize the mistakes of the past and try to promote a future of peace and development according to NRC. Archbishop Gallagher commented came during a Thursday ecumenical conference on the future of the Christians in the Middle East.
Over to Syria, where an exodus of Christians is increasing due to growing violence. We regard with concern the growing migration of Syrians in general and Christians in particular due to the blind violence against their areas, and believe the regime is not innocent of this flood of forced displacement that affected social groups and specific communities. 7 Syrian Christian movements said in a statement released on Monday, "We must not keep silent on the exodus of Christians from Syria, as it is the process of uprooting that can lead to the loss of pluralism, which has enriched Syrian society for many centuries," the movements added. "We have seen what happened to the Assyrian gatherings on the banks of the Kabul River, where the regime's air force was the idol against the invasion of the Islamic State and the detention of more than 200 Assyrians whose fate is still unknown." The statement said, in addition, there was a horrific bombing of the predominantly Christian district of Sulaymaniyah with rockets and missiles on April 10 and 11, when dozens were killed and injured, in addition to the destruction of hundreds of houses and shops and the exodus of people.
The US Commission on International Religious Freedom said in its annual report for 2015 that Egyptian authorities are not doing enough to protect religious minorities, particularly Copts and their property, against regular violence affecting them. The report highlighted the continuation of discriminatory and oppressive laws and policies that restrict freedom of thought, religion and belief, which led to the continuation of trial of some citizens on charges on contempt of religion and the government's pursuit to combat atheism this year. Although the 230-paper report praised the call by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for religious tolerance and his quest to communicate with Copts, describing them as equal citizens, the report recommended adding Egypt with 8 other countries to the list of countries of particular concern. James Zoghbi, the commission appointed by Barack Obama in the Religious Liberty Commission, said the challenges that the government faces in Egypt are many, including combating terrorism and restoring rights of civil society, growth of the economy, and moving quickly to complete the roadmap through the election of a new parliament. The report noted that religious freedom is under attack in many places around the world, particularly in 17 countries including Saudi Arabia, Iran, Sudan, North Korea, and Eritrea. Katrina Sweat, president of the US Commission on the International Religious Freedom, said in a report issued this weekend that no day passes without any of the countries included in the report appears on the front pages of major newspapers. The humanitarian crisis, fed by waves of fear, intimidation, and violence, swept a huge number of countries over the past year, she added. The report also highlighted violent persecution facing Christians in Burma, China, India, Pakistan, Nigeria, and Central Africa.
An ISIS jihadi, which is linked to the Garland attack, has a long history as hacker, according to CNN. Before becoming a law enforcement focus in the attack on a Garland, Texas cartoon contest, Junaid Hussain went by the cyber pseudonym Trick. Tweets between Hussain and one of the gunmen have lent credence to ISIS, claim that it was responsible for the attack, though outside of Hussain's involvement with the terror outfit, it's difficult to say exactly what role ISIS played. What's known of Hussain is placed together from court records, police documents, online and social media activity, terrorism experts, and a fellow hacker. From these sources, the portrait emerges of a dangerous hacker and influential recruiter who's able to crack online banking security systems and who has demonstrated on occasion a zany sense of humour, once dressing up as a Power Ranger and wielding a machine gun during an online chat. The 20-year-old hacker now goes by the moniker Abu Hussein al-Britani. He told CNN last year, a claim confirmed by American organisations who are tracking jihadi websites. A former member of a hacker collective that Hussein once led also told CNN that al-Britani and Hussein are the same person. A security expert told CNN that he was recruited by ISIS prior to leaving for Syria. He is now married to ISIS convert Hussein al-Britani, former Sally Jones, who is 25 years his senior. Terror analysts say he's one of the most accomplished hackers fighting for ISIS.
In Arlington, Virginia, Coptic youth have been passing roses with a random message to people in streets and metro stops with a hashtag on Twitter called Seeking Happiness DC. The people responsible are the youth of my life, group from St. Timothy and St. Athanasius Church in Arlington City, who decided to show love in the community in a very simple and encouraging way, asking for nothing in return. They bought almost 150 roses and made note cards of encouragement with phrases such as "You are loved," "You are inspiring," "You are beautiful," and "You are cherished," as if these messages are from God to his people. Then they passed them outside of a busy metro stop. Sherry, one of the youth group, has said that it was so rewarding to see how happy and thankful the people were, as they were encouraged by such a simple act of kindness. When the youth were asked, "Why are you doing this?" or "What is this for?" they just told them that they wanted people to be encouraged by reminding them that they were loved, and that's it. People posted pictures on Twitter and Instagram and wrote comments about how thoughtful it was or how it encouraged them on. Hashtag Seeking Happiness DC.
And our final story for the night, Manchester United and PSV reach an agreement over a controversial transfer. Manchester United has won the race to sign coveted Dutch talent Memphis Depay for PSV Eindhoven, the 20-time English champion. The fee is reported to be in the region of $34 million, and Depay will join in June off the back of an impressive season, notching 24 goals in 34 games in all competitions for PSV, which was recently crowned Dutch champion. United manager Louis van Gaal is well acquainted with the 21-year-old, having included Depay in his squad for the 2014 World Cup while coach of the Dutch national team. During the tournament, Depay became the youngest Dutch player to score at a World Cup as he notched 2 goals on the way to a third-place finish. He becomes the third player to make the switch from PSV to United, following in the footsteps of defender Jaap Stam and prolific striker Ruud van Nistelrooy. Liverpool was widely reported to be interested in bringing the winger to Anfield, but a statement on PSV's website confirmed his move to Manchester.
And that's all for CYC News. Stay tuned for more Christian content on CYC. I'm George McHale.
And I'm Anastasia Atia from the CYC studios in Sydney, Australia. Good night and
God bless.